Hello guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be reviewing issue 1 of Lando's, Lando Double or Nothing, issue 1. So yeah, I haven't actually sealed up yet, I will do in a second. But yeah, so I'm going to do something that might be a bit disrespectful, I don't really know when it comes to Star Wars comics, because it's actually the first comic, the Star Wars comic I read, yeah, properly. I've read like one trade, but that's about it. So yeah, this is the first time I picked up the first issue of a Star Wars comic as it's come out. So the way I'm going to sort of talk about this is a lot in relation to the movie, because first of all, what I'd like to say, let me just put my headphones down, is that if you liked Han Solo, if you liked the beats that it did, if you liked sort of like the heist movie style thing, like basically a sci-fi heist movie, then I think you're gonna really like this. Not only is like sort of the styles the same, and that's a good reason. That's like a helpful thing for watching Solo. But also another helpful thing with watching Solo is that the way that Lando and L3 talk are very specific and they're not generic at all. So what that does is when you're reading the dialogue bubbles, it really helps bring the characters to life. You hear Donald Glover when he's speaking. You hear the way he talks, his pace, his sort of mannerisms. You hear L3, you hear the sass in her voice. And with both that together, this makes a really good companion piece. Because if you don't know, the story is set before Solo. It's set when you've still got the Millennium Falcon. I don't know how long it's set before Solo. I don't know whether there'll be any crossover, because obviously there are times in the Solo movie where Lando isn't with the gang after they leave them with the refinery, and when he ends up in the jungle, they might do something with that at the end. Who knows? Because that'll be a nice part of the universe to tie up as well. Because that's what these comics are all about. They're all about tying things together, and explaining what happened when they weren't on screen. And this is doing before they were on screen in Solo. So obviously this is probably because Solo, I think anyway, is set before Rogue One. It was set before Rogue One by quite a bit. So it's obviously in between Episode 3 and Episode 4, and obviously in between Episode 3 and Rogue One as well. So this obviously, I reckon this is around about time just after Episode 3. If the timeline in my head works. I don't know whether it will or not, because obviously with the Han Solo trilogy, I'm talking about Han Solo a bit here, a bit too much with the Solo trilogy. It's a trilogy, so that means it's going to be some time yet before Rogue One. Anyway, so I'm really excited for what happens, how Lando sort of got to the point he is at when we get to the Solo movie. Speaking of the comic itself, there isn't really too much to talk about because, like I said, it's very much a companion piece. It doesn't do many things different with the characters that it does in the comics, and the story is just set up fine. It's just gonna be it's just gonna be another heist adventure type thing. They can get in, get out with whatever they're looking for at this moment in time. They're looking for the woman's father, just to try and get him out, and also the rest of his people out. So it's pretty much the same as the second act of Solo. So, like I said, if you are watching this fight, sort of first impressions of like the issue, whether you want to pick it up or not, that's kind of what I did. I didn't subscribe to it or anything yet. I haven't put it on my standing order at my comic book store. I just wanted to see if there's anything good, and yeah, I will probably end up putting it on my standing order next time I go. The next issue is in less than a month's time, but more than 3 weeks. I think it's exactly a month. It's exactly 4 weeks. 27th of June, I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, that's gonna be for now. So if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to subscribe. I haven't really talked too much about the comic itself, but like I said, it's just an add-on to the movie at this moment in time. It hasn't really grown into its own story yet, so there isn't really too much to talk about. I just want to give you my first impressions on how I took this first issue. But yeah, so my guys watching, hopefully enjoyed, and I shall see you next one. Goodbye.